and then to where President Obama was 4 years ago, based on this particular ad, the smallness of our politics. I'm going to play 2 ads for you. One is from Barack Obama's campaign. The other one's from Crossroads, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And a friend sent it to me. They said it's playing in Germany all the time. But I want you to hear these 2 ads. The first one is from Barack Obama. This is what Barack Obama took from the debate over the weekend.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Bernie Madoff, Ken Levy, Dennis Kozlowski, criminals, gluttons of greed, and the evil genius who towered over them. One man has the guts to speak his name.
Big Bird. Big Bird. Big Bird.
It's me, Big Bird.
Big, yellow, a menace to our economy. Mitt Romney knows it's not Wall Street you have to worry about. It's Sesame Street.
I'm going to stop the subsidy to PBS.
Mitt Romney taking on our enemies no matter where they nest.
Wow.
That is amazing. Now, give
Wow.
the exact quote that Barack Obama said in the last election.
2007. What stopped us from meeting these challenges is not the absence of sound policies and sensible plans. What stopped us is the failure of leadership, the smallness of our politics, the ease in which we're distracted by the petty and trivial.
Is PBS being cut trivial? In the grand scheme of things, is it not trivial? Yes, it is trivial.
I don't know. I mean, it's not going to make up the whole deficit, but you're talking about spending $450 million on a yellow bird to teach kids the alphabet.
No, hang on just a second. Wait. It is trivial in the grand scheme. Have you seen the Middle East? Have you seen Europe?
Sure.
Have you seen what's happening?
Context, yes.
In the grand scheme of things, it is the last thing we have to worry about. If somebody comes into the president's office right now and says, "Sir, Big Bird's on line 7, he's a little upset," I say, tell Big Bird to go shove it up his little birdie butt right now. I don't have time for Big Bird right now. That is the smallness of our politics that Barack Obama is talking about. But that's what he does. Now, I'll give you just a couple of things on Big Bird. Big Bird in PBS, what is it, the Children's Television Workshop, how much money do they make on plush toys? Remember, your tax dollars, what you take out of your paycheck every week, you send some of those tax dollars to PBS for the funding of Sesame Street. How much money do they make in merchandising?
$211 million a year.
$211 million. Do you own a Big Bird? Do you own a Sesame Street coloring book? Do you own anything in your home? You're not getting paid back for that. You want to talk about a subsidy? It's not oil. Oil does not receive a subsidy. Oil does not. Oil gets a tax break just like everybody else gets tax breaks. If you're in business, you can write this expense off. You're exploring, you can write that off as a business expense. That's it.
That means they keep more of their own money.
Right.
They
Which
don't
is
get it from
exactly
you.
the same way every business. There is no special tax breaks for oil. However, that's different than a subsidy. A subsidy means the government writes you a check. A subsidy is for failing companies, quite honestly.
Green
like
jobs.
Green Jobs. Solyndra.
And that's what,
GM.
That's the crime here, is that Sesame Street is not at all a failing
company.
It's a huge
Sesame
success.
Street can make its own money.
Yeah.
It's a global empire.
As they've admitted. I mean, they've admitted that.
They have said they don't need the money. Let me say that again. They have said they don't need the money. So here's the president taking something where they claim they don't need the money. And the proof is in the pudding. Look at what is in your home if you have kids. They can make it in the free market world. Why are we giving them money? It's common sense. It's common sense. But now President Obama has made this into a huge issue. Now, let me play the Crossroads spot. I came from a friend of mine over in Germany, said they're seeing it in Germany. But Crossroads, isn't that Karl Rove?
American Crossroads?
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
it is.
so this is a Crossroads ad. Now, this one is really important to see on television. This one is really it starts out with the old Soviet scenes. It's new, and it has the face of Putin as the dictator, but it shows Red Square as Red Square used to be when we were growing up. And listen to the audio of this.
world where one man cannot lose. The fate of the world rests in one top secret mission.
This is my last election for you. Yeah. After my election, I have more flexibility. I understand. I transmit this information to Vladimir and stand with me.
Your mission is simple, Mr. Obama. Win one last election to gain unchecked flexibility, weaken our defenses, and fundamentally transform the world. Dmitry will transmit the information.
I transmit this information to Vladimir and stand with me.
Starring Barack Obama as President Flexible, Dmitry Medvedev as Dr. Transmitkov, and Vladimir Putin as himself.
After my election, I have more flexibility. After my election, I have more flexibility.
I mean,
Operation Hot Mic.
A very funny way to present very disturbing information.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could talk about Big Bird, but look at what happened here. Karl Rove uses humor to get across there's something really wrong here. He's transmitting information that he doesn't want you to know to, quite honestly, Barack Obama says Russia is the biggest threat to the United States. And he's right. He is right. Russia has their fingers involved in absolutely everything. You want to know what? You don't want to know what's pushing Iran and Syria? Russia. That's what's happening. And he's over playing footsie with them and saying, I'll transmit to Vladimir. You need a little more time, a little more flexibility. I understand. I'll transmit to Vladimir. That would have, no president in my lifetime would have or could have been elected with that. Just that would have taken the president down. What the hell is that? The world is on fire. Our president is in bed with all of the wrong people. I'll transmit to Vladimir. And excuse me? We're talking about Big Bird? Really? Wow.
Yeah, Big Bird, haircuts, dogs on top of cars. They've used all that stuff in their attack ads against Romney. And then David Axelrod has the gall to say that it's Mitt Romney who's trying to buy this campaign, who's trying to buy the presidency.
Can't take it.
He said they're trying to buy this election, and we're the only ones standing in their way. Don't wait any longer.
Who's
to
raised
take
more
ownership
money in
of
the
this
last? Who's raised more money?
Not just raised, but here's, as of September 21st, Obama had spent $325 million to Mitt Romney's $163 million. Double. Who's trying to buy the election? Dave.
And does that include the primary spending? Because that, I mean, that's, he had to run an entire election before this.
Yeah. And then when you include, that was just the campaigns themselves. Mm-hmm. When you include the super PACs and the spendmonger Koch brothers, who really aren't spending much money for Romney right now, then you're onto something. According to the ultra-conservative newspaper, The New York Times.
Oh, yeah.
Obama has raised $690 million and spent $615.6 million. So he's spent
$600. Knows how to do that budget.
$615 million. Romney has raised $633 million and spent $530 million. $530.7 million. So almost $100 million more dollars have been spent by Barack Obama than Mitt Romney.
Did you hear Barack Obama on the campaign trail? I think it was yesterday. He was saying, if you don't get out, if our people aren't almost obsessive about this, we won't win.
That's incredible. I mean, I guess in comparison to when he ran against McCain and outspent him 3-1, just outspending him by 30 or 40% is not that big a deal to him.
I guess.
I guess that's...
And that's them buying the election,
right.
not you.
Mm-hmm.